Good evening everyone, and welcome to day 14 of the 40 Days of Hope. A message today for anyone who doesn't have a family, or maybe your family can't offer you much support, or your family might even live far away. Just want to encourage you and show you how the church acts as my family. First of all, you might notice the plant in the background from day 1 of the 40 Days of Hope. It's well and truly alive again. Unfortunately, some of the leaves didn't quite make it. However, there's still hope because new leaves grew in their place. So God might speak to you through that picture. First of all, I thought we'd just have a look at what the Bible thinks about the church. And first of all, the Bible says the church isn't the bricks, it's not the building, it's the people. The people of the church act kind of like the body of God here on earth. And God uses the people to reach out to the world. It says in Corinthians, just as a body, though one, has many parts, but all its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ. And this passage goes on to kind of say, the eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. A running theme in the Bible, I suppose, but when it regards to the church, is that I suppose on our own, we can't quite accomplish the will of God. We need the church. We need unity within the church and other people. And that's definitely my experience, especially when I watch some things that God's called my husband to do, and he's definitely needed the church to do that. And myself as well, I definitely couldn't walk close with the Lord and do some things that he asks me to do without the church. How did this idea come about for today? Well, yesterday I was at home and a beautiful lady from my church dropped by, this lovely yummy sticky toffee pudding cake. It's been devoured quite quickly. We're enjoying it, so thank you. And you know, even on Monday someone else just dropped by, these gorgeous cinnamon rolls. I was just sitting down to lunch and they just dropped them at the doorstep, and just to bless us. I caught one of the ladies in the church last week just delivering chocolates at the door. It was meant to be anonymous and I caught her. And you know, it's just so nice knowing that people are thinking of you, and it just really blesses you. I just want to give you an idea of how the church is my family. Our church is very big, so it's very easy to get lost in the church. So our leaders have, I suppose, designed the church so that there's house groups within the church, so that those groups kind of look after each other, make sure no one gets lost, and support one another, because there's no way we'd be able to support everyone if we were trying to help everyone out. Our group meets every 2 weeks. Before the lockdown, we used to take it in turns to meet in each other's houses, and we'd have a cup of tea or coffee together in the evening time, once every 2 weeks, as I said, and we'd talk about maybe the sermon on the Sunday. We'd share just an update on our lives, and we might pray for one another. We have a great person in our group who loves to organise socials, so we always have something to look forward to as well. You know, during Christmas time, our family was hit with COVID. It ended up we had to isolate for 23 days by the time each of us caught it, and our 10 days of isolation started again. But the church was just such a blessing. So many people reaching out, praying and encouraging us and just checking in. Are you okay? You know? One day I remember in particular, I just was on kind of my last header. I said to God, you know, I've no motivation to come up with any more activities for the kids. Can you just help us out here? Can you give me the motivation? And about an hour later, someone delivered these gorgeous gingerbread biscuits to the door, like tree-shaped biscuits with loads of little gems and sweets for the kids to decorate them with icing. And you know, it was just such an answer to prayer right at the right moment. And that's again how God uses people to answer your prayers. There's so many other ways that our Connect group works. At the minute we're meeting every 2 weeks on Zoom, and we're actually going through a book at the minute and talking about that. How else, I suppose, does the church? I think the church provides so much opportunity for people to obviously minister to the poor and to reach out into our communities. There's just so many, I suppose, organisations that our church is involved in that gives you the opportunity to do that and makes you aware of that. One thing I love about our church is you can be friends with people of all ages. You know, we have this hospitality raffle, it's great. And you put your name in if you want to 1 month, right? And basically you can put your name in and you write down to be hosted or to host. You know, if you want to break it, you want someone to cook for you. So before lockdown, we did this, and I remember we used to just meet all different types of people in their walks with God at different ages. And I remember one time we just had a couple, gorgeous couple. Eddie and Jen Chambers actually, and you know, Eddie was just telling us all about the war. He had all these stories and it was just so brilliant. I hadn't planned on saying this, obviously it's just come out now, but actually we lost Jen during the during the last one since lockdown. So when we go back to church, we're really going to miss a lot of people. But that's what the church is for as well. And it says later on in that verse in Corinthians, it says, if one part suffers, every part suffers with it. And you know, some people in our church have lost dear ones over this time, and it's like we all suffer for them, we all care for them, and we show that we care. There's someone in my home group that suffers chronic illness, you know, and we are always just praying and, you know, hoping for her that she will obviously get the treatment that she needs. So I could go on and on and on. I'm already on 5.5 minutes. I'd planned to say an awful lot more. Look, all I would say is if you're not in a church, you know, I'd encourage you to think about it and pray about it over these 40 days. And if you're already in a church and you're thinking, wow, Bernie, your church just sounds really, really amazing, it might be that God prompts you to start something in your church or to bless your church. So there you go. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.